My name is Alejandra Bravo. I came to live in Toronto, Canada, first as fleeing the dictatorship in Chile, and second time as an economic immigrant. And so I've spent most of my time in Canada. I live, like I said, in Toronto, where I work at Maytree Foundation, which concentrates on developing programs and policies to promote integration of immigrants and in urban centers where we find ourselves in the Canadian context. And on a personal note, I work in community arts as a tool to promote participation, particularly among youth and in lower income areas where, in fact, a significant proportion of immigrants and visible minority populations live in the city. And I'm also on the Toronto Board of Health, where we deal a lot with the question of public health and how it relates to newcomer communities. And my involvement is really around leadership development work with Maytree. How do we promote the leadership of immigrants and underrepresented ethnic groups in the civic and political life of our society?
According to what you heard today about mostly European experiences, can you compare and to what extent is immigration a problem in Canada?
Well, we have a very different context. We're bounded by two oceans. We have the North Pole to the north, and a significant concern in Canada is the dominant culture of the United States, our neighbor. So our context is very different. Immigration is something that's well regarded by the majority of Canadians, and it has a lot to do with an aging population, the need for immigration to fuel our continued our labor market growth. So in general, we have a sense that we're a country of multiple identities, founded by the French and the English, also the Aboriginal people. So the context is very different. Where immigration can pose challenges is really around concerns about the underemployment of immigrants who are highly skilled, much more educated than the Canadian average, or perhaps the concentration of poverty that results from that among immigrant communities. And so how do we break through that with innovative policies and practices is a concern for many.
What then you would say does a successful immigration mean to you? What are good examples and bad examples?
I think successful immigration is a process by which the society benefits in general, and by which the immigrant is able to contribute to building that society to the best of his or her abilities. That means fully employed to capacity and able to participate. I think it also means that the challenges of the transition are not inherited by the children of the immigrant, and so that as they develop a family in a new society, their children are able again to develop to the best of their abilities, and that opportunities for social advancement or opportunities to contribute are not limited by a history of having immigrated to that country. I think it also is a process of mutual transformation. The immigrant is transformed by the process, but also the society should be transformed by, and enriched, frankly, by having that newcomer contribute to the society. I also think that what's really important is for the, people in positions of power to be representative and responsive of everyone who lives in that society. And so that does imply having avenues for leadership among immigrant communities.